Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? So I'm wondering, people hear this and I'm sure they probably have a lot of questions, but I think the most important question we could probably start off with is what did you learn about yourself, especially in the beginning of when you were looking at and reflecting on your life and recognizing that you are not living into the person that you wanted to be? I guess 2 parts. 1, how did you decide to actually go for it, right? The thing that people dream about and are scared of, terrified and facing the fear. And then on the other side, what did you learn about yourself in the beginning of doing that?
Yeah, these are really important questions. The answer to the first question is really simple. I had an internal knowing that this was something that we needed to do, and I did it. And I felt as if, once my son bought onto it, the ball started to roll, and it was as if this was the natural process, like, we needed to do this, like, I needed to take my next breath, and so that inner knowing sorta gave me that sense of, "Okay, we're on path," and I'm not sure that I actually had some belief system about my path, but it started to unfold in my understanding and reflection of my life from this point. And so I'm really grateful that I listened to that inner knowing, and we just did it. The second thing, your second question was, what did I discover about myself? I discovered, in addition to all of those things that I brought with me when I left our conventional world, was I had many belief systems that were never questioned or challenged. They were beliefs about myself, beliefs about parenting, beliefs about the world, beliefs about safety. And a lot of those beliefs went into my core beliefs from my childhood based on some of those early traumas. And, that reflected in beliefs about, I'm too much and I'm not enough. And that really peppered the way that I'd moved through the planet before I started to look at these things and pull them apart. But also beliefs about what I, big air quotes, should be doing, how I, air quotes, should be parenting and how I should, again, air quotes, be educating my child. And when I looked at these beliefs that I accepted as a cultural truth. And when I recognized that once I got in touch with what my particular core values were, and they were not in alignment with some of these beliefs that I was carrying with me, the inner conflict was mine to unpack. Did my son really need to be educated in a quote unquote system that was handed to me? Is that really the best way? Did I really need to educate my child, through a system of scope and sequence and examinations? Did I need to parent him as an authority? Did I did I really need to live a conventional life and collect stuff in order to be happy? Was security equal to a number in my bank account? And when I said no to all of those things, they're not in alignment with my core values. It gave me the space to step outside of my comfort zone and really feel the discomfort and feel into the type of life I really wanted to create for myself and co create with my son. And that was a really active way of parenting. It was a very hands on, really authentic and open and vulnerable way to parent. And through that vulnerability, I got to know myself and all of these belief systems that were no longer working for me. I got to know them through my trauma and my triggers. I got to know them through the fears that came up and those auto-responders, like the email, the auto-responders. Well, I was on auto mode with many different answers and responses to many situations. And in fact, so much that I was aware of this as we started to travel. One of the first things that my son and I came to an agreement with was, let's try and say yes to everything that comes in our path. And let's live presently. And if the thing that's coming in our path or the opportunity or the decision block or, whatever the thing is, um, let's check in and see if this is in alignment with our values. And that will be our guide. Let's not live by rules. Let's live by values and let's live in partnership. And he's like, I'm in. And this kind of conversation, constant conversation and constant checking in, really, I didn't teach him emotional intelligence. He developed emotional intelligence by being seen, heard, and understood, and recognizing that as I'm processing, hey, that triggers me. I'm responsible for my triggers. Here's why I responded that way. I'm sorry. I've just repaired whatever the trigger or the auto responder told me to do, which is, clam up or push him away or yell. Because let's face it, we're not perfect.